All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Seattle Seahawks in tonight's video. So you guys don't play football tomorrow. We got a matchup, Monday Night Football on the road in Detroit, less than 48 hours from the time of this recording. And I'm so excited because first off, I actually really like the Detroit Lions. It's hard to actually root against the Detroit Lions after what they did last season. And if you're a football fan in the last, I'm 25. If you're a football fan for the last at least decade, I'm not trying to rag on the Lions franchise here in any way, shape, or form. So I'm going to end that topic there. But the point is, we have a really good football matchup. You got NFC champion almost, NFC literal champion almost in Detroit last season. And you got the Seattle Seahawks who are 3-0 right now. We said it the entire summer. This team is so underrated. They're so underrespected. And on paper, the scheme fit a Mike McDonald coaching this team, mainly a defensive pinpoint, with Ryan Grubb, a young new offensive coordinator. I really liked it because I'm not a Seahawks fan, so this isn't like a biased comment, but I feel like a lot of Seahawks fans agree with this comment. The Seahawks have one of the best rosters in the National Football League, especially for considering young talent in the NFL. And you're off to a 3-0 start. But for some weird reason, I guess it's because you played Denver week 1 with rookie Bo Nix. You played the Patriots on the road and won in overtime. And it's almost like everybody forgot what the Patriots did in week 1 against Cincy. And then you played the Tua-less Miami Dolphins. So, no Seahawks fan, I'm sure, is complaining about this 3-0 start, but people want to see this at a quote-unquote sustainable level. So before we get any further into tonight's video, hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Folks, we're posting like 4 Seahawks videos a week right now. I love you guys so much. Seriously, we talked about this, a couple of videos ago. Like, you were my 3rd ever NFL video about two years from the time of this recording. So I love you guys so much. I'll always root for you. And once again, I like the Detroit Lions too. Weirdly, coincidentally, as a Packers fan, I just love football. But this has quickly become, one of the matchups, like the best matchups to watch in the National Football League. And I just feel so bad for the Seahawks, but not really, because you're 3-0 and you're going to take 3-0 every day of the week. But the amount of disrespect and the amount of just honestly lack of media coverage you guys have received in the 2 years about making NFL videos, it's like actually baffling to me. And I think the 3-0 record has people at least looking into this squad. But like we did last Saturday, I read a great article on The Athletic from Michael Sean Dugar, who just made a great talking point about this upcoming game on Monday Night Football, which, like, seriously, man, this is going to be such a great game. But once again, people are just underrating. Maybe it's under-respecting. Maybe it's a little bit of both. The Seattle Seahawks offense and defense. I actually don't even want to talk about the defense in tonight's video, which is a little contradictory because there's way too many injuries on the defensive side for Monday night's football game. But, like you've seen, we're 3 weeks into the season. It really feels like every single team in the NFL, like they do every year, is dealing with just a multitude of different injuries. So I want to take injuries out of the equation here. The Seahawks, as far as PFF is concerned, they're the best defense in the National Football League. And honestly, it's hard to really, argue that. But the big question to me is the offensive efficiency, because you've played some really sound tacked defenses. I think the Broncos are extremely underrated as far as defensive talent goes. I think the Patriots are even double that. They're extremely underrated as far as defensive talent goes. And then you got the Miami Dolphins, who also have a really nice defense. They're just missing their franchise quarterback in Tua. So the one thing I'm keeping an eye on this upcoming Monday is the offensive line and the offensive efficiency, because I know Geno, and we've said it the whole season, we said it the whole offseason, Geno Smith's not the type of quarterback who's going to lose you football games. But we keep saying it, and Zach Charbonnet did a phenomenal job this past week, but like Ken Walker and Zach Charbonnet, it's way too much talent to have in the running back room to have such a mediocre statistical running offense, right? But a lot has to do with the offensive line. And even more so, a lot of that has to do with the offensive line injuries. So Seattle's offensive line currently ranks 31st in both pass block win rate and run block win rate. I I that's a crazy statistic to me because you're 3-0. Geno Smith has been pressured at the 10th highest rate in the National Football League, and overall, the Seahawks rank 27th in EPA per rush on running back carries. So I know Zach Charbonnet can play. I know Ken Walker can more than play. What's the real issue? And it comes down to, offensive line issues, whether it's health or whether it's just stupid shooting yourself in the foot penalties, because the penalties have been apparent. Like, honestly, I feel like it's been apparent in the last couple of seasons. But once again, I'm not freaking out. I'm not saying Seattle's screwed. You're literally leading the NFC West, which I cannot be more excited about. And penalties to me are, something a coach or your coaches, your coordinators, your team, that's something you can dial in. So Seattle's offense actually leads the league in accepted penalties with 18. The offensive line has accounted for 10 of those. Right guard Anthony Bradford ranked second in the league with 6 accepted penalties. And that's pretty much, those penalties are pretty much the reason you have a league high average of 9.5 yards needed to move the chains on third down. I cannot believe that's a real statistic. The Seahawks currently rank 19th in third down conversion rate because it comes down to a lot of things, but here's some fun statistics. The league's best on third and short at 4th, third and medium at 5th, on third or 7 or longer, you're 30th in conversion rates. So when you get it to third and 5th, third and 4th or more, that's where the issues come in. And that, it's just honestly basic NFL math here. But one thing I've really kept an eye on is the last couple of weeks. So in the second half against the Denver Broncos, specifically in the fourth quarter, the offensive line was doing a phenomenal job of winning the line of scrimmage. And we always talk about on this channel, if you can win the line of scrimmage offensively and defensively, you're going to win a lot of football games. But like in the second half against the Broncos, Ken Walker, 84 yards and a touchdown on only 13 carries. The first 3 quarters of that Dolphins game, extremely penalty ridden, right? But then in the fourth quarter, you had Zach Charbonnet run 6 times for 42 yards and a touchdown that, pretty much solidified the game. And one big guy that, a lot of people are keeping an eye on because your right tackle's injured, your backup right tackle's injured, is 4th-year tackle Stone Forsythe. And he had a sack right out of the gate coming into the game against the Denver Broncos. But he's been really solid actually in the last couple of weeks, allowing just 1 quarterback hit across 85 pass blocking snaps in the last 2 games. The reason I'm mentioning this is because the Detroit Lions defense, even though they are injured, once again, like all the other 31 teams, 30 teams in the NFL, you're going up against Aiden Hutchinson. And Stone's going to have at least a solid game to contain Aiden Hutchinson. So my point just is the Seahawks offense with Geno Smith, Charbonnet, Ken Walker, DK Metcalf, JSN, Tyler Lockett, Noah Fant, like the talent's clearly there. But the issues right now are offensive line, whether it's due to injuries or penalties or both, right? So this is honestly, outside of my Packers Vikings, it's the game of the week here. Monday Night Football, we're 48 hours away. I can't freaking wait. I hope you guys enjoyed this, kind of ramble Saturday night video for you guys. That's it for me. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. But guys, most importantly, give me a final score prediction for the Seattle Seahawks at the Detroit Lions for Monday night down below.